Hello, this is Professor Teresa Pelkie. This is Session 6, Part 2, the like keyword, patterns, and wildcards. In the previous session, you saw examples that used where clause comparison operators with character data. You saw that it was not easy to find country names that begin with a certain letter. You had to use the substring or left function to isolate the letter from the name. In this video, you'll learn about some SQL features that make it easy to work with character data. These features will help you with most queries where you need to select based on character data. We'll also take a quick look at some advanced SQL features for working with text data. Here we see the like keyword used with a where clause. You can quickly see how this keyword is used and how it makes it easy to select a character value. The like keyword has three parts. Part 1 on the left side of the like keyword is the column name that will be used. You are not limited to just a column name. You can use the result of a function instead. For example, you might use the concat function to join several values together and use the resulting values with the like keyword. Part 2 in the middle is the like keyword itself. Part 3 on the right is the pattern. The pattern is enclosed in quote characters. In these two examples, we are selecting for countries that begin with the letter J and the letters JA. In the top figure, the pattern is the letter J followed by the percent symbol. That pattern selects country names that begin with the letter J followed by any number of other characters. In the bottom figure, the pattern selects country names that begin with the letters JA followed by any number of other characters. The percent symbol, when used in a pattern like this, is sometimes referred to as a wildcard selection. In MySQL, the comparison is not case sensitive. That means that you can specify the letters in the pattern in uppercase or lowercase characters. When the percent symbol is used like this, it means that we are selecting for values that begin with the specified characters followed by other characters. You can use the like keyword to select character values based on a pattern that occurs at the end of the value. In this example, you see the pattern begins with the percent character followed by the letters SIA. You can see the results. Country names that end with the letters SIA. For this case, the percent symbol means select the value for any number of beginning characters in a string that ends with the letters SIA. Here's another way you can use the percent symbol to create a pattern to use in a like select. In this example, the pattern is the percent symbol followed by the letters EN followed by another percent symbol. That means that the pattern that is searched for is any number of starting characters, the characters EN, followed by any number of ending characters. You can see the results here. This shows the country names where the pattern EN appears somewhere in the name, after the start of the name and before the end of the name. You can combine like keywords in a compound condition. In this example, we are using an OR clause. We are selecting country names that begin or end with the letters AN. Keep in mind the result of a like comparison is a Boolean true or false value. An entire where clause ultimately boils down to a value of true or false, no matter how many compound conditions appear in the where clause. If the result of the where clause evaluation is true, the row is selected for inclusion in the result set. If the result of the where clause is false, the row is not selected. There is another character you can use with the like keyword to form a pattern. This slide shows the underscore character in the lower figure. You can compare the results of its selection with the top figure where the percent symbol is used. The underscore character means that any single character will be used in the pattern. This is in contrast to the percent symbol, which selects any number of characters. When the underscore character is used in a pattern like this, it is also referred to as a wildcard character. In the top figure, you see the pattern GUA percent symbol. That pattern selects 3 country names. Each of the country name begins with GUA, followed by other characters. In the bottom figure, the pattern is GUA underscore. This time, only one country name is selected. The reason why only one country is selected is because the underscore only allows one character to be used in place of the underscore. As with the percent symbol, you can put the underscore at the beginning of the pattern, at the end of the pattern, or embedded inside the pattern. You can use the underscore to indicate that the pattern is to be used for a fixed number of characters. For example, if you want to search for a name of exactly 5 letters, you can specify the first 3 characters to search for, followed by 2 consecutive underscore characters. You can use the not like keywords to select values that do not contain the specified pattern. On this slide, you see how to select all of the countries that do not begin with the letter J. If you recall, this was the condition that we used back in session 5, where we had to use the substring or left functions to isolate the letter J in the country name. You can see in the results set that the country names go from those starting with I to those starting with K. The country names that start with J are excluded. As useful as the like keyword is, you may find that your search requirements are more extensive than what can be provided with the relatively simple like patterns. If you've worked with other programming languages, you've probably heard the term regular expressions. A regular expression lets you specify a more complex pattern to search for. It is much more powerful than what you can do with the like patterns. MySQL uses the regexp keyword to perform a search using a regular expression. MySQL also provides an extensive full-text search feature. Full-text search is used when you need to search through text that is in a sentence, a paragraph, or in a very long amount of text, similar to a document. For example, you might need to search for a sequence of words or for words that appear in proximity to each other. The full-text search feature is described in detail in the MySQL reference manual. These 2 features, regular expressions and full-text search, are not further described or used in this course. If your applications require more extensive text search and selection capabilities than are provided by like, you can read more about the features and decide if they are needed for your application. As nice as like seems to be, you need to be careful with it. The issue is you might end up creating a big performance hit by using like in your SQL statements. Now, first of all, you need to understand that performance is usually directly related to how many rows are in a table. If there are only a few hundred or a few thousand rows in a table, you may never be able to detect any performance impacts when you use like. But if you are working with tables that contain hundreds of thousands or millions of rows, watch out. As I've mentioned throughout these videos, the purpose of a where clause is to determine if a row will be included or excluded in the results set. To determine that, the database management system must evaluate the conditions in the where. An important feature of a relational database is indexes built over a table. You'll learn more about indexes later in this course, but we'll cover some concepts now. A table index is similar to an index in a book. Using an index, the database management system can more quickly locate rows in a table, just as you can quickly locate topics in a book using the index. Think about how you would find something in a big book if there was no index or table of contents. You would need to start scanning through the book, turning pages as you go. This is similar to what the database management system needs to do when you use a column in a where clause and there is no index on the column. When there is no index and the database management system needs to look through all of the rows, that is called a table scan. Many database management systems recognize when a table scan is about to occur and will do a quick calculation to figure out if it would be quicker to do the table scan or quicker to stop and build an index. That index would be a temporary index just for that particular SQL statement execution. What does this have to do with like? If you are performing a like operation and you specify the first character or characters to search for, followed by the percent symbol or underscore wildcard characters, the like search might not be too bad. If you have an index built on the column that you are using in the like, and you specify the first character or characters, you will have a well-performing like. It can use the index to locate the first characters, then filter out the rows that should not be included based on the pattern. The problems occur when you use the like keyword and the percent symbol or underscore are used at the beginning of the pattern or inside the pattern. In those cases, even if there is an index, the database management system will probably have to do a table scan. Think about it. If you were given an assignment to find all of the words in a book that end with ing, you would specify a pattern of percent symbol followed by the letters ing. There is really no way that you could find the word short of scanning all of the text. Although the analogy of a book index to a table index is not completely accurate, fact is, a table index can be built over almost any column. The index values for character data are based on the order of the characters. So if you had to find data in a column that begins with ing, and you have an index on that column, the database management system will be able to go directly to those rows. You need to be especially aware of these types of performance issues when you develop, test, and deploy your SQL. Many times the databases that you use in test environments contain only a fraction of the data used in the production environment. So when you test your SQL against a much smaller database, it appears to perform well. But as soon as you deploy the SQL into production, you could quickly have an unpleasant surprise when your users start to complain about how slow the application is. You even need to be careful with indexes. You might have noticed in your testing that you could speed things up by creating an index in a column. If you forget to include that index in your deployment steps, you're right back to a table scan issue. So use like when you need to, but keep in mind how it can make things slow down if it's not carefully used. In the next video, we'll look at the in and between keywords. Those keywords can be used to create simplified where clauses when you need to compare for multiple items or for a range of values.